Joining me now, Kevin Hincks, co-host of Fast Market, live at the CBOE. Good morning to you, Kevin. It's great to see you. Certainly, we're hearing that President Trump and President Xi, there's no deals happening anytime soon, that's for sure.
Good morning, Nicole. Yeah, it's not, think about this. President Trump putting a post out on Truth Social at 2 o'clock in the morning talking about President Xi. And here's his quote: extremely hard to make a deal with. He said he likes him, said he's always liked him, he'll like him in the future, but he's becoming extremely hard to make a deal with. Now, that shouldn't surprise anyone. China, that deals with a much longer calendar than the United States, they think in many ways they can wait out a 4-year administration and wait till the next administration comes in. So they slow walk any long-term negotiations between the U.S. and China. So yeah, I would expect, remember, everyone that talks from the administration talks about 18 countries that we're dealing with, 17, and then China, right? China's going to be a much different negotiation than some of the other countries. But we did get news that this morning that negotiations between the EU and the US are going well, and they've made progress. So there's also that. But yeah, China is, anyone that thinks this is going to be a quick negotiation between the US and China just isn't thinking right. China is just trying to hold on to the unbelievable amounts of U.S. production that comes out of China and moves to the U.S. So yeah, going to be a much tougher negotiation than people may be thinking, Nicole.
Yeah, and if they're trying to wait it out 4 years, I mean, what if Trump has talked about J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio being his successor? What if they win? Then you're talking 8 years. Right? I mean, they need to come up with some deal. I mean, they could come up with a deal by the end of the day. I really, I wouldn't put it past any of them, but it certainly seems apparent at this point that it's going to take quite a long time, particularly with how difficult President Xi has been to actually execute and make some sort of trade deal. Because even the one that they put in place, President Trump was saying that they violated that, even just the preliminary deals. Let's turn our attention over to jobs. We saw the private payrolls jobs and fewer jobs added than expected. In fact, the fewest, in a couple of years.
Second month in a row, there's been a pretty significant miss in ADP payrolls. Remember, last month it was 62,000 jobs. That got revised down to 60. They were looking for something around 110,000, comes in 37,000 jobs. The only size company that was positive in this report was companies between 50 and 249 employees. They gained 51,000, but 1 to 19 employees down 6, 20 to 49 down 7,000, 250 to 499 down 2,000, and over 500 down 3,000. The big gainers, leisure and hospitality, plus 38,000 jobs. Financial activities, plus 20,000. The biggest job losses, professional and business services, down 17,000. And education and health services, down 13,000. So a very mixed report with, like I said, only one size company, one bracket showing a positive gain. Now, here's the question, Nicole. Does this correlate into a weak jobs number? Remember, last month we had 62,000 jobs, and the jobs number on Friday came out with a beat, 177,000. So the question, now the markets lost their bid on futures, although they're easing back into the green as we speak here, but there's not a lot of correlation sometimes between private payrolls and the overall non-farm payrolls. So I think there's still a lot of skepticism about this number as we go forward, but we'll get jobless claims tomorrow and then non-farm payrolls on Friday, Nicole.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And that JOLTS, we saw, 7.4 million on the JOLTS, 7.1 million. So look, the point is that they're adding some jobs, and that's a good sign. It means that these companies want to put out some job openings, right? That's a good sign, but it's certainly a far cry from 10 million or 11 million where we were at one point. Did you have a thought on the JOLTS number?
Well, the JOLTS number jumped up right? Ever so slightly, which means the overall economy is getting stronger as people are putting new jobs out there in terms of job openings. So the labor market remains pretty strong. Like I said, the question going forward, is this going to be an outlier? We have to see the number on Friday, which is the most comprehensive look at not only jobs, but wages as well. So yeah, Friday's number is always has been and always will be the most important data point of the month that we get, Nicole. So we'll see what happens there. The rest of this is just speculation. Like I said, futures are pretty much unchanged. All we did was lose a slight up market here. And as you know, the first 2 days of this week, we've opened lower and rallied off there. So this is not a very scary sell-off in the market here. They're pretty much unchanged across the board.
Yeah, I thought it was impressive. Microsoft was looking at a record high for this year yesterday for the close. I'm seeing uranium stocks hitting 17-year highs. I think people are impressed with the big picture of the clawback and the V-shaped recovery we had from our bottoms and doldrums of April. So things aren't as bad as I guess they could be, certainly. And you did have President Trump telling Jay Powell now after the ADP print of 37,000, get on it, do the rate cuts. We'll see. Last but not least, ISM services later today. Your thoughts?
Yeah, we'll get numbers at 9:45 and 10 o'clock Eastern time. PMI composite final. Looking for numbers around the 52 level, and ISM services coming out around 10 o'clock, looking for a number, again, around 52. Look for numbers right around the 52 level on all three of those metrics, Nicole.
Yeah, understood. All right, Kevin Hincks there at the CBOE. Thank you so much, Kevin Hincks.